Hello, I'm Steven.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are Flickers.
Flickers.
And today we're reviewing The Lighthouse by the director of the movie The Witch, which, don't hate us, we actually haven't seen that movie. But we're very aware of everything about it, and how it's very, very atmospheric. And I will definitely say that this movie was heavily focused on atmosphere the entire time.
Didn't he do Hereditary?
No, he did not.
Oh, okay.
It's just The Witch. So I'll go ahead and start off with this one.
Okay.
So this movie is filmed in the old cadence of the old films,
Yeah.
of the golden age of cinema. Yeah. It's a black and white full frame film, with two incredibly strong performances from Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe.
Yeah.
The movie is kind of like a nightmare in a way the whole time. And really, it's you're just It's hard to put a genre on this one. I think I don't really know exactly the best way to put it. It is definitely a piece of art, though. Like most artists, when they make their art out there, anyone can see it. Anyone can interpret. There's an obvious story that's trying to be told in a painting, but there's multiple different ways that it can be perceived, and that is probably the best way to put this movie.
Yeah.
It's obvious that there is a storyline that's happening. But there's so many different ways to take what actually unfolded in front of you by the end of the movie. We have our own theories of it. We can't spoil it at all.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to describe this movie. It's very indescribable.
Well, and I really do think it is very personal. Like, his interpretation, though, I like his interpretation of it. It's not really mine. Whereas mine, because mine doesn't really do any spoilers, mine is more... It feels kind of similar to a Coen Brothers film mixed with Moby Dick, where it's just literally this like downward spiral of madness and just things keep getting worse.
That's a good comparison, actually. I can see that. A Coen Brothers film.
Yeah,
I can see that. It's basically how it ends up going.
Yeah.
And there's some ridiculous banter at times in the movie as well. But yeah, it's kind of... I'm saying, for those of you that are going to go see it, it's definitely one you really can't properly mentally prepare yourself for.
I was not prepared at all.
It's very, very difficult to get yourself the proper mindset. But I will say, at least for me, the movie held my attention the entire time. The acting was so captivating, and the atmosphere that they had in it was, once again, also just alluring. Yeah. And the lighting of it was just very, very crisp, very dark, very ominous the whole time. You couldn't help but not look away. Yeah. Like, or did I say it properly? Okay, yeah. I'm about to say yeah. So
it's not really my cup of tea. I was kind of sitting there the whole time. I'm like,
uncomfortable.
Well, I don't know if I was necessarily uncomfortable. Just kind of like, okay. But at the same time, I was appreciating like what they were doing. I was just kind of like, this is not my thing. I probably wouldn't watch this again, sort of thing. But at the same time, I really had to go to the bathroom, but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to miss anything because I was like, something's happening. So like I don't want to miss a second, because I feel like everything, even the like the words that they were or not the words that they were using, but the things that they were saying in the cadence that they were saying, kind of like in Shakespeare, like patterns that of the way that they say things, or the specific words that they decide to use, all tie in together. So I really didn't want to.
It was kind of poetic dialogue.
Which was very poetic. Very sea shanty poetic, like something that sailors would tell to scare each other.
Literally, it seems like a tale that sailors would tell each other to give each other nightmares, basically, forever. That's the best way to put how The Lighthouse felt. So it's definitely, once again, I don't think it's a movie that could be. I don't think it's a movie that could be rewatched over and over and over again. But I think for the sake of what the movie is, it's ambitious, it's different, and if you're a person that's into films, just the whole history of film, I believe it definitely deserves at least a one-time watch. At least a one-time watch at some point in time in your life, if you appreciate the art of film, because this is definitely following
and
in the footsteps
they
of that.
Definitely, everything that they did, they chose for a reason to further the film. So watching it, being able to appreciate some of the things that they did with it is good for a film person, and it's just good for, you know, kind of broadening, you know, like opening your mind to like how they did certain things, like just kind of like for going into a next film, like having seen it, I could be like, oh, you know, like having seen Coen Brothers films, we can
no,
compare
exactly
this
kind of
to a
what
Coen Brothers film. So this, though, when you're like, okay, that kind of feels like The Lighthouse, where it's just this nightmare, you know, whatever. So it's one of those ones that it's good to have in your repertoire of knowledge.
To have something for basis off of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely think if you're someone that's like, oh, I want to go ahead and just catch a movie and an entertaining film, this might not be what you want to go ahead and catch if you're not a big moviegoer. Yeah. However, if you want to have an extremely unique, different movie-going experience that's out of the ordinary, then go see it. Because literally, you're not going to find a movie like this every day. You won't.
Or if you're even like the type of person that likes, you know, literature and the depth of it, like I heard a thing the other day that the author of Moby Dick didn't like it would have been his worst nightmare for it to have been taken as allegory. And I feel like this is in that same, where he wanted you to take it at face value, to enjoy it, and then say, wow, that was cinematically stunning
and insane. And
the script was literally it was very, I can't think of the right word, but like they use basically like classic literature to create the script, kind of.
It was very good. Once again, not for everybody, but it was a good movie. And once again, hats off to the acting performances for Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe. Absolutely. I think Robert Pattinson is one of the most underrated actors, honestly, out there. All because of Twilight. But if you've ever seen his other movies, honestly, one of my favorite ones, Water for Elephants, was a great movie. Yeah. So he definitely shows off his acting abilities. Yeah. And honestly, about 80% of the movie is just him. Yeah. Like,
I honestly forgot that it was Robert Pattinson. Like, I wasn't thinking the whole time. There were certain moments where I was literally like, you know, that you were like, okay, this is, you know, Robert Pattinson. Not in a bad way, but you're like thinking, this is the same guy that was a vampire. Like, this, it was a little weird. But then at the same time, you kind of got lost in his character, where I forgot it was Robert Pattinson. Like,
he was the character that you're seeing on the film. Yeah, and same with William Dafoe. He becomes his character. It's always William Dafoe. Like, he's great. Yeah. So anyways, personally, what I would rate it as, given all the technicality aspects of it and everything, I wouldn't say it was the greatest film ever made. It's not. But I really appreciate everything that the movie actually is. I personally give it 4 out of 5 slates.
I've kind of wrestled with this a little bit, and we had a night to think about it. I really don't know what I would rate this film, because I do think that there are people out there that this was created for, and I have like people in my mind that I'm like, this person would really enjoy this film. But then at the same time, I'm like, you know, this like if anybody outside of that realm went to go see it, I don't know. It's hard. And like I said, I've really wrestled with it. So, and I still really don't know what I would give it. I think it was absolutely stunning. Again, the script was phenomenal. The acting was phenomenal. I liked the choice that they did, the black and white. I'm probably gonna go with 3 out of 5 slates.
Okay.
Only because it's that like weird barrier of like, it's a hard type of person that it's for, and it's really not for anybody else.
Fair enough. Well, and there's our thoughts on the Lighthouse, folks. Yeah, you have to see it to give your own personal opinion of it, to get your own interpretation of it. I'm not gonna lie, the movie was done. We both looked at each other like, what just happened? Yeah. What did we just see? Yeah, so it definitely is one that it kind of sits in there. You got to think about it. Everyone has their own interpretation. Everyone will have their own pull from it. They're either going to love it, you're going to be confused by it. I think everyone's going to be confused by it at some point. But you're either going to love it afterwards, or you're just going to hate it. Yeah. But I think most people are going to go see it though.
Like, I'm not.
But yeah. Yeah, but there you go.
Yeah.
We've set our piece. Go add your own thought to it.
Yeah.
There we go. So don't know what the next movie's gonna be that we're gonna catch. There's so many good ones coming out here,
There's
left
a
and
lot,
right.
a
So
lot.
but just keep your eye posted. And
we always post the trailer beforehand, so that'll be.
Yeah, okay, you'll know. Well, that's for our Facebook group, of course.
Yeah.
Which, if you aren't on the Facebook group and you're watching this on YouTube, at Flicker's Movie Reviews will be how you can find us, our page on Facebook, which we always post the next information, the next movie that we will be going to see before we go see it.
Yeah.
But until then, Flickers, thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next time.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Please subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.